Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're just doing uh, a brief mat workout where we are going to focus on getting energy for our day. So, just to get everything moving, lubricated, our daily tonic sort of thing. And we will start with, as we do, just a little walking through the feet. If you're more of a level one, then you can leave the heels down and raise one heel, lower it, and switch. If you're more of a level two, you can be on the balls of the feet already, focused on that center line, staying nice and still, and then it's a lowering of one heel and switching, always having even weight through each foot. So at any point, you have 50-50 each side, and a nice breath going on, a nice length in your spine. And today, instead of our little, walking man arms that we do, I want you to bring the arms behind you. I want you to press, have the palms facing behind you, bring the arms behind you, and open across the chest as you walk through the feet. Right? If you can keep still in your upper body, then you can pulse the arms a little bit. The head isn't poking forward. The ribs are held back. The abdominals are strong. The breath is already bigger than it was when you started. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Hold it here, sink the heels, float the arms up overhead, bring the hands behind the head for a beautiful butterfly right into a roll down. So nice breath opening across the chest, lifting the throat, drawing in with the lower belly so you don't do this movement at the low back, and then nod the chin. Roll forward to feel that stretch down in between the shoulder blades, and then relax the arms and continue right into a roll down. At the bottom here, take a beautiful breath into your low back and then restack. Whether you support with the hands on the thighs or you bend the knees or keep them straight, whatever feels good. Arms overhead. Interlace, press the head back into the hands, butterfly open. Out breath to nod the chin, to roll it down. Do, 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 do. At the bottom of this one, the eyes are back. You're looking at your thighs or your pubic bone or your tummy button, and then you're going to bend the right knee and switch and do the left so that you get a little bit of a shift through your hips, a little bit of length in the back of the thighs. And this movement can be particularly helpful through our waist for low back pain, mobility. Yeah. Good. Even it out after this one. Take a nice breath in and roll it back up. Open across the chest and widen the feet if you need to, because you're moving into a squat. A squat and a heel raise. And a rapid one today. Like you're going to jump it. Boom. But then you decide not to. Because this is energy for the day. Shoulders down away from the ears. Neutral spine throughout. Even weight on each leg. Right? For 3, for 2, for 1. Hold it back in your squat. Pulse it for 6, for 5. Feel that pelvic floor link to the hips as you lift. Good. And press it up. Shake it out. Good. Beautiful. We're going to move from here into a lunge position. So whichever foot forward you prefer, or let's all do the same. Let's move left foot forward first, right foot back. If you're a level 1, the lunge can be a little shallow, right? And you'd be with the knees straight, you have weight on the front and back leg, and you bend the knees, and it could be a small lunge while we do some arm movements. Or if you're happy and you're used to a long stride lunge, you're here. Good. So take a nice breath in. Let's just practice the lunge part. A nice lowering down where the spine stays vertical. You have weight in the front leg so that you can really squeeze the front hip, the front bum cheek, glute, to come back up. One more nice one like that. Good. Now we're going to add some arms. So when our knees are straight, we're going to raise the arms overhead. And this is so much more than raising the arms overhead, right? This is controlling the rib cage so we don't thrust forward. We hold the rib cage back. You have the arms reaching, 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 so you're getting long in your shoulders, and you're watching the head and neck alignment that you don't get the head poking forward, right? So you're here. Beautiful. Now let's hold it here and bend the knees. So this is our lunge. When we come up this time, we're going to let the left arm go forward, the right arm go back. But I want you to reach both, right? I want you to have a large wingspan here. Good. Then come back with the arms overhead, lower. Come up, right arm forward, left arm back. If you can look to the side, even better for your balance. Arms overhead, lunge. Up, scissor. Arms overhead, lunge, come up, scissor. Little bit of balance, little bit of legs, little bit of shoulders. If you can rotate the head, it's much harder than keeping the eyes forward on a still point, but you do what you need to do for your balance, right? Good. Now we're in the rhythm. We're going to do 3 more. So we have arms overhead, lunge, come up, rotate. Rotate through your rib cage if you can. That means the breastbone is turning to look to the left here. It's straight ahead. It's looking to the right here. Right? Good. Do we have one more? Each side? Yes. Rotate. Straight ahead. Rotate. Good. Here, one last lunge. Step it forward into a balance. And then relax and walk it out. We have to do that on the other side with all those same arm movements, but now you know them. So little lunge or big lunge, right? Take a nice breath in. Just practice the lunge part at first. Coming back up. The lunge part. Coming back up. Now bring the arms overhead. The shoulders are already warm here. You're holding those low ribs, the solar plexus back. The shoulders are away from the ears. You lunge. When you come up, the right arm goes forward, the left arm goes back. If you can turn to look to the left, great. If you need to keep the head forward, no problem. Back up to arms overhead, lunge. Straighten the knees. Rotate the other way. Left arm forward, right arm back. Back to front, arms are overhead, lunge. Scissor. Lunge. Scissor. Lunge. You're warming up so much here. It's a great way to start the day. You might think that you're going to be tired after all this, but you're not. You're going to feel like you can take on the world. Rotate. Arms up. Lunge. Rotate. Arms up. Lunge. We have 3. Arms up. Rotate the other way. Get that breastbone turning. Stay strong in the abdominals. You're comfortable in your low back. This is 2. Rotate. Last one to each side. Lunge. Come up. Rotate. Lunge. Come up. Rotate. Beautiful. Back to the front. One last lunge. Come up into a balance. And relax. Right? And now we're feeling good. Come to the back of your mat. Take a nice breath in. And just be aware. Do you have even weight on each foot? Are the knees soft? Is the pelvis in neutral? Have you picked up the imaginary golf balls at the back of your armpits automatically, where you pick it up and you try to hold the golf ball there, allowing the chest to be open and the thumbs to face forward? And is the head and neck in line? Is the back of your head touching the imaginary wall behind you? Beautiful breath in. Out breath to nod the chin on this one. And to go into that beautiful roll down where we feel each bone of the back separate and roll forward off the one below it. Some nice articulation, lubrication. At the bottom, if your hands don't touch the mat, then soften your knees until they do and walk it forward. to be on hands and knees. Good. So take a nice breath in. I want you to curl the toes underneath. And I want you to exhale and into your hover. I want you to lower the knees, uncurl the toes, move into a cat stretch, and you're starting with the low back, the mid back, the upper back, the head and neck, the shoulders drop down away from the ears, and you hold that arch as you rock the hips back towards the heels and then snake it forward. Stay low, low to the mat here. As you come forward, back to hands and knees, curl the toes underneath, hover. Lower the knees. Beautiful cat stretch. One bone of the back at a time. Rock back into your shell stretch or modified. Snake it forward like you have a low bar in front of you. You're trying to get underneath of it. Coming back to hands and knees. Hover. Uncurl the toes. Cat stretch. Do all you can with your low back. Don't let the head move yet. Then mid back, upper back, head and neck. Chin tuck slightly. Rock it back. Snake it forward. Back to the hover. Curl the toes. Hover here. Beautiful. Lower the knees. Last cat stretch. Uncurl the toes. One bone of the back at a time. Rock it back. Snake it forward, and you're coming forward onto your belly from here. Lowering down to have the forehead resting on the back of the hands. Turn the toes out, the kneecaps out. Draw in with the low belly. As you breathe in, relax that. And on your exhale, draw in with the belly again. Really feel that front body is strong on your out breath to support your low back and your back body as we get ready to float the right leg, to lower it down, and switch. And you're doing this quick today. We're energizing. You're doing it quick, but you're doing it controlled, and you're comfortable in your spine. Good. Level 1, you're staying on the mat with your upper body. The shoulders are broad. The shoulders are away from your ears. The neck is long and relaxed. There's no movement through your rib cage. Level 2, you're going to float up with the face and the throat and the breastbone to be in a bit of extension. And we're going to flutter the feet a little quicker if we can. Feeling those hips work. Keeping, if you're level 2 and you're up in the upper body, you want to be comfortable in your low back. You're really strong in the abdominals here. You're drawn in like somebody with a sewing needle. Not that this is a great visualization, but somebody with a sewing needle has put it through your belly button and they're pulling it up towards the ceiling behind you through your spine. Right? You're strong in the abdominals. Yes. Good. And 2, 2, 1, 1. Lower the legs. And if you had the upper body up, lower the upper body. All levels keep the legs on the mat for now. Take a nice breath in, and on your exhale, float up with the upper body. Take a nice breath in, and we're going to reach the arms nice and long out to our sides in a nice T position. Good. Take a breath in, and on your out breath, you're going to float both arms, both hands off the mat, and you're going to try to increase your wingspan. Really reach the fingers out to the side, and from here, no movement, right? Don't drop in your collarbones, don't lift higher. Everything stays nice and still except the arms. You're going to turn the thumbs up, and you're going to lift the arms only towards the ceiling. And feel that upper back, those postural muscles. You're already tall and ready for your day. You're going to be breathing better after this. Good. Are the shoulders down away from the ears? The neck should not be working hard here. This is between the shoulder blades for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring the hands underneath the rib cage or the shoulders. Bend the knees. This is your opportunity to do a perfect press up. So draw in with the belly, the thighs, the tummy, the breastbone, all leave the mat at the same time. Let's try it again. Out breath. That's harder than easier said than done, is what they say, right? Last time. Boom. And rock into a lovely rest pose, a shell stretch or child's pose. Just take your time though, if you need to, after working the hips and the back muscles. Sometimes they need a chance to soften. So take your time. You can leave the arms overhead at first, or you can bring them right back by your feet and breathing into your low spine. Taking the breath a little deeper into your pelvis. Try to eventually feel that air connecting with your tailbone, sit bones, your pelvic floor area. Good. On your next out breath, roll it up to nice tall kneeling. Level 1, 2 video, so you have choices for this next one. We are going to do some leg work. We're going to do our side leg lift. We're going to do some circles. If you have any shoulder issues, or you're really, an early level 1, not moving to that level 2 yet, you just wanted a challenge, then come down, lay on that arm like we usually do, and do your side work, right? If you're ready for a little push today, then from hands and knees where we were, you're going to turn so that you have the left hand on the mat, the left knee on the mat, and the right foot on the mat, right? And you're here, the pelvis is looking forward, right? This is definitely a challenge because you have to be strong in your, in the arm that's on the mat, the shoulder. You're going to work hard in this hip as we lift this one, right? So don't hesitate to be on your side or move back down to your side if this becomes too hard, right? The top arm, I just want it on your top pelvis so that you can feel for movement there. Take a nice breath in, and I want you to lift the leg and lower. Lift and lower, right? You're strong in the abdominals, right? If this is too much for the bottom hip, because sometimes this is a hard position for us to hold, right? It seems like, why are we working so hard in that underside hip? It's because it's in a position that sometimes it's not used to getting into. And that's okay if you need to release and have a break, but it's also nice to try to be strong in that position. Hold this one up. Let's do our circles. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you're up, there's a beautiful stretch after this where you bend your top knee and bring it in next to your bottom one, and you take the top arm over near the one that's on the mat, and you pull, the hips away from those hands so that you're in almost a shell stretch or child pose, but with a side bend. And then you should feel that in that upper side, that right hand side that you just worked. Coming up. Let's go on to the other side. Whether you lay down and do the leg work, as we always do, or you're putting the right hand on the mat, the right knee, and the left foot, right? We do this in our level 2, 3 class, and there's still struggles, so don't feel like, you have to be up like this. It's just a variation for today to push you a little bit harder to get your energy going. So hand on the pelvis just to monitor for movement. You're strong in the abdominals, and when you're ready, you're going to lift that top leg, even if it's only an inch or 2, right? Because sometimes if we're stiff in the hip, we're not going to get a lot of height here. When we do our level 2, 3 class, we're really trying to get that leg up high because we're working on flexibility. But here, you're just getting used to this position, maybe. It's okay if it only lifts an inch or 2. It's what you can control. Hold this one up, 4 circles each way. 3. No movement through the waist. Strong in that bottom arm if you are up. Reverse the circle for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Bend the knee. For your stretch, bring it in next to the other one and bring that top arm over towards the one that was on the mat, and then move the hips away to the other side. It's a lovely, lovely stretch, but if you're not happy in your knees to do this, or your back, then you can do whatever feels good right now. Perfect. Breathe into wherever you feel is tight. Beautiful. Coming up. And do we feel energized? Yeah, of course we do. We're going to come up from here, practicing our lovely getting up without using our hands. So you're kneeling, you're tall kneeling. And take a nice breath at first. Just raise both arms overhead. Just a little moment to ground and breathe and relax. Good. And then we're going to try to get, without a lot of movement in our upper body or the leg that's staying still on the mat, we're going to try to put one leg forward and then bring it back. And then the other leg forward and bring it back. And that's a little bit hard, right? How does it feel side to side? Right? This asks a lot of, like a lot of Pilates, this asks for flexibility in our hip, and it asks for strength in other parts of our body. So you may have difficulty identifying what makes it hard to do. All right, I want you to put your least favorite foot forward, because we like a challenge, right? You're doing this because you're that type of person. You want the challenge. You don't want the easy way out. Here, if you can get up without using your hands, bring them into I Dream of Jeannie position. Put some weight into that front leg. You can even curl the back toes if you want to help press off that back leg. And you're going to try to come up from here to stand. If you need to put the hands on the thighs or you need to use your hands to come up, that's okay too. It's just a little extra challenge at the end. In standing, take a nice breath in. I'm going to do one more roll down just because that feels good in my body and it does give me some energy for the day. So nice breath in, arms overhead, out, and nod the chin. Roll it down one bone of the back at a time. Feel like a big spring as you exhale and restack, being taller, more open in the chest, breathing easier than you were however many minutes ago. And now you're ready for your day. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you feel energetic. I'll see you next time.